Maps, Google Translate, right? All this stuff.
Yes.
So welcome to the Alshech Beit Hamidrash. We're in Korach, the third session of Korach, and we are on. Do you remember where we were? Rav?
Well, you see what happens? I was relying on you now.
Kuf Hey.
I think this is, looks like yours. It has more
I've written in many. I've written in many of them. This is actually my
I see
one.
some kind of line here, but I don't know if it means anything.
Let's see. Do you remember, Moshe, where we got up to?
It was in the other book. I wrote Kuf Hey, but I think that was just the whole page, not that. I would have to look. Is it this
I think we got to.
Yeah, I think we're here on Reish Tzadi Hey.
Wait, Tzadi, hey.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're on Tzadi. That's right. But
We've
whereabouts?
just finished that, and I think we're on the other page. The first
Ve'achar
one.
amar ma. Yeah, we were in the middle of it, no?
On Bet Pellet. Did we start that one? Reish Tzadi Vav. On top. I think that's where we got up to.
Yeah, on bepel. Yeah, that's right. Res tzadik vav on top. ועון בפלט, הנה אמרו רבותינו זכרונם לברכה. This is what the sages said. אשתו
Hitzila
Hitzila.
Torah. That's a famous event.
His wife saved him.
saved him. Right? That's all, right? We have.
ואפשר כי המה
You have in California, that's all.
ראו כי אין פלט. Yeah, if we look, we can't see Ben Pelet as one of the
Hold on.
Reuven, בכל בני ראובן.
It's possible כי המה ראו כי אין פלט בכל בני ראובן.
There's no listing of Pelet as one of the sons of
Never mentioned
Reuven.
such a name in the sons of Reuven.
כי אינו בן
Ben
פלו.
Palu.
There's only a Ben פלו. כי הוא אבי אב דתן ואבירם. He is
The father of the father, in other words, he's the grandfather, right, of Datan V'Aviram, right? Avi, Av,
אבי אב, yeah.
father of the father.
Yeah. וגם אמרו פלט בתף שמורה על נקבה. It's an illusion that it's
Some
feminine.
kind of feminine aspect, right?
על כן מאמרו של לשון פלא אמרו רבותינו לזרחה. Therefore, when in discussing the name Pele, no? Al ken
Mamaro,
lashon Pele.
the
Wonder.
of the word, right, of the word of Pele, which means wonder. So it is a connection with this word Pele, phonetical, connection. Yeah.
אמרו רבותינו לזרחה שרמז כי נעשה בו פלא. It's a hint that there was some wonder that happened there.
Some miracle
Amro-
occurred through
And also we talked about the Tav.
right,
That is
Tav
a
is a
feminine.
feminine, right?
ואמרו תו היא היות
Who, Heyot,
הוא היות
Hatzalato,
בצלת.
Heyot, right, being, Hatzalato, his salvation, his Hatzalah, Al Yadei, through, by, Ishto, his wife, Shehi Nekeva. So it's a Ramos, something is a ram, it's hint, right?
It's very,
We have to
very
read through.
stretched.
Right, the rabbi, well, whatever, the rabbis, they had their traditions, how they learned it, passed on through generations. So they made all this drashot. We not always can do it, but the rabbis, the Chachomim could
אוקיי, ב' ויקומו לפני משה ואנשים מבית ישראל 50 ו200 נשיאי עדה קראי מועד אנשי שם.
So that's a quote from the Pasuk.
Yeah.
Straightforward.
Now the title, עצת האחיתופל
Achitofel
לאבשלום. This is the advice that Achitofel gave to Avshalom.
Right, maybe, I don't know, Moshe is familiar.
Avshalom is the son of David who rebelled against his father, and Achitofel was the Kohen Gadol or something? Who was
No,
it?
he was like a Chacham, who was advising to the royalty, to the kings.
And he recommended to Avshalom that he should mess around with his father's Peleshtim in order to
Pilakshim,
in order to show that he's taking over.
Somehow they were trying to take over the power, so in those days, right, like Shlomo said, the Pilakshim, that was a symbol of power, so it was a conspiracy. What else is new, right?
Also, once he did that, they were no longer permitted to his father.
Yes.
The king could no longer, so it was really making a statement that even if you come back, I've done something that's now
So there was like a political slash,
coup.
right,
והנה שלוש
court coup, right.
והנה שלושה אלה היו כבר לב אחד. These three, meaning Datan, Aviran, and On, they had one, they were acting as one, with one unit.
All three of them were like one unit.
נגד משה, against משה. אך 250 אנשים, but the 250 people, קרא להם כעצת אחיתופל לאבשלום. We call them as if...
Korach, what happened to them...
What happened to them was like what happened to...
The conspiracy between Achitofel and Avshalom, right? Shenemar,
כי לא הערבו ישראל על ליבם להיות עמו נגד דוד אביו.
Right. So,
לא ידע...
there is a pasuk from book of Shmuel, right? She'amar, he said, who said? Achitopel, there is a note there, bet, mem. Should we look in the note?
Yeah, לשון הכתוב שם.
Right.
ויאמר אבשלום אל אחיתופל, הבו לכם עצה, מה נעשה? ויאמר אחיתופל אל אבשלום, בוא אל פלגשי אביך אשר הניח לשמור הבית ושמע כל ישראל כי נבשת, what's that?
Like a bosh, like a, you did something.
Embarrassed?
Embarrassment, right? At Avicha, your father.
את אביך
וחזקו ידיי כל אשר איתך.
And
so
you strengthened your hand.
So go to those pilakshim of your father, and then it's going to be all over the headlines and all the papers, and all the Israel will see, and they will, draw away from your father, and it will strengthen your hands.
So what does it mean here?
Busha is like embarrassment.
No, in the text it says further up, she'amar ki lo Yarvu Israel.
Right.
What's
The
Yarvu?
Jews are not going to, hold on, let me read it again, just a minute. Yarvu is like desire, to be interested. Just a minute, let me see. What is it? Man, right?
Yeah.
Okay. ויאמר אבשלום אל אחיתופל, הבו לכם עצה מה נעשה. So Avshalom goes to Ahithophel.
No, I'm saying if you go back into the text up above.
Oh, in our notes.
Yeah.
In
What does it mean? Kilo Yarvu
in the
Israel.
Alshech.
Yeah.
So that's the same quote.
Kilo Yarvu.
Right, they will not desire. Israel, Yarev is like to want to be interested in, to desire.
Elibam.
To their heart, Liyot emo, to be with him, with David. How are we going to make the Jews going to, abandon David? They will not want to be with David.
Because right now they are afraid that if they choose the wrong side, that they could be killed.
Say it again?
If they choose the wrong side between
Right.
David and Absalom,
Right. So it's kind of similar. You're saying there is a similar parallel.
similarly that
Right.
they don't know to choose Moshe, to choose Korach.
In other words, right, we conspire to draw them away to our side, and that will be dying down. But eventually, because David won the civil war, so to speak, so those who followed Avshalom, they lost.
Yeah.
So it's, the conspirators failed. So here, this Awon of Datan, Vaviram, and Avon ben Pelet, they got seduced by Korach to his side. Shlomo, you seem to be in trouble.
No, I'm not. I'm just trying to listen to what you're saying. Go on.
Right, so he convinced them. Korach went to them, gave them these good ideas, how we're going to depose Moshe from his position, and you're going to all get your own nice positions now. He created this kind of scheme, right? Political alliances and everything. And so now, but in this pasuk, that's what, so the Rav Alshech is saying that what happened to them was like what happened to Datan, Aviram, and Aon ben Pelet was like what happened to Avshalom.
I thought he was saying
Avshalom.
that what happened to the 250 is what happened to Avshalom.
Oh, I'm sorry, but you might be right. Let's see.
The 250 were still holding back.
Yeah, because the 3 were against the level of Moshe. They were against negative.
Right, you're right. Acha 250 אנשים, right, you're right. קרא להם כעצת אחיתופל ואבשלום. Right.
Yeah.
This 250, they sort of like were in between, and they got swayed to the side of Korach and Datan Vaviram. That's what we're saying?
Yeah.
But they don't want to be on the losing side. So
Yeah.
they're still holding back.
They were holding back?
They're still holding back.
I think they did join with. We'll see.
Let's carry on reading it.
Yeah.
Neged David Aviv, against David their father. Be'amram, when it says, Ki hayom o machar, banu yeshlim. Today or tomorrow we will come united. Is it Yeshlim?
Bno Yashlim. Right? So
Bno
again, so
Yashlim.
now we're talking about, we're dealing with David and Avshalom.
Yeah.
Right? So what happened there, right? If the idea of Ahitophel's idea was go take the Pilakshim, right? Then when all the Jews will see that, right? What's going to happen? All the Israel, right? They're going to be like they're already not going to follow him with David. No, they're still not going to join. Because the Jews were not, at this point, Jews didn't want to join the rebellion with Avshalom against his father, against David, right? Amram ki hayom o machar bno yashlim ito.
Tomorrow they will make up.
Right, the father and the son have this fight. So they're going to wait, sit it out, like you said, Moshe, and let's wait it out. In a couple of days, they will make peace with themselves, so why should we join the losing side? That was what was going on, right?
The idea being that the blood of son and father is stronger than it is.
Yeah, of course, right? It's like a family feud.
So-
You don't want to.
So on another level, that the father might forgive the son.
Yeah.
But
Or
that
the son
doesn't mean
will. The son will admit. He'll say, "Father, I'm sorry." You know, there is that image of the son. You know, he's coming back to the father. I'm sorry. I made a mistake. Basically, which is pretty common idea here, right? So the
But
father will feel better. He will forgive him. They'll reconcile, right? They'll make peace. The fathers and sons, ideally.
But he may not forgive us, the 250.
Ah.
We're not his son.
Very good, very good. Then that's going to be a whole thing. What happens to us now?
Yeah.
What's now we're in the hands of David, you know?
So Moshe and Korach are cousins. Moshe might forgive Korach in the end.
That's
But
right.
what's going to happen to us?
Exactly.
Okay, I hear. Very interesting. So let's see.
וישרו בבושת
וישארו
פנים.
בבושת פנים כל
כל
ישראל.
Israel. And the
and
Israel
they-
will stay embarrassed.
The whole Jew is going to be embarrassed, right?
זולת מה שיחייבו
יחייבו
את
ראשם
ראשם
למלך.
למלך.
Right, like Moshe said, very good. I see
זולת-
you read it yesterday.
זולת, what is זולת?
Except, right, so now,
Except
the father and the son will reconcile, right?
מה שיחייבו.
Except Mashi Yichayvu. Now, but we're going to be now guilty, right? Chayav is guilty, right?
Yeah.
Obligated, guilty. Et Rosham, their heads, lemelech. They rebelled against Melech. Now they owe their heads to the king, so to speak.
Okay. על כן יעץ אחיתופל יבוא אל פלגשי
Right.
אביו
במקום
במקום
רואים על
רואים על
הגג.
הגג.
Ooh.
he should go to the פלגשים and
So,
instead of במקום רואים על הגג. What is
במקום רואים על הגג.
במקום.
Yeah. So,
במקום.
right, Al Ken Ya'atz Achitopel. Therefore, right, Achitopel figured this all out in Avshalom. So, what the idea what counsel he gave to Avshalom?
Do something so bad that there's no way
Yavol
you could.
Yulachei, right, cohabit with them al Agag on the roof of the palace.
We're Ro'im, where everyone can see.
Exactly.
The
במקום
Makom.
רואים.
ואז יאמרו ישראל, then Israel say, הנה נבאש
בעיני
בעיני אביו.
אביו.
He's been
Now
embarrassed.
he's
in his-
really transgressed
Embarrassed.
against the father. And he really, now the father is not going to forgive him. It's like a final straw, be a point of no return right now.
Point of no return, exactly. ושוב
לא
לא
ישלים
ישלים
איתו.
אותו. And-
Not going to
and-
make peace with him, right? ישלים שלום, right? There's no
ושוב means, and
Again and again, shuv, again, לא ישלים איתו.
Uh-huh.
He's not going to reconcile with him. to
like
make
after
peace
that,
with him.
yeah. כי כלתה אליו הרעה.
Kalta is like completely, final, right? Allah on him was final hara'a, the evil
Bad.
doing. It's like a final, act.
Like a, yeah. ויתנו אז לב
And they- להתחבר, to
עליו
connect, to join,
בכל
אליו בכל עוז, with full strength. ויעשו כן. So that was Achitopel was a wise man. Imagine such a, everybody's asking like, how could it happen? There's a lot of Torahs about it. Such a big scholar, and he made such a conspiracy.
והתחבד is what?
Itchaber.
להתחבר is to connect.
Chibur, chaber, right? To connect, to join, to accompany.
Let's just try that notes because it's quite involved here.
Yeah,
Membet,
notes.
membet וחיפירוש רש"י שם והזקו
חזקו
ידי כל אשר
איתך.
איתך כי אתה ידעו
ידם,
ידם,
רפה, לעזור לך,
לעזור לך שאומרים
שאומרים
בלבם
בליבם,
בליבם הבן יתחרט אצל אביו.
Actually, it's like what we were saying, that the son, itcharet, charata, we know from Yom Kippur, it's, what was it?
Sinned, is it?
No, charata is admitting the sin, you know, what is it called? Right, at head, but it's regret.
Regret.
That the son, haben itcharet etzel aviv, will regret in front of the father, by the father.
ואנו נהיה
שנואים למלך.
Hated.
Yeah, we'll become hated by the king. The father, will itcharet, he'll reconcile, but we will remain hated by the king. He'll hate, oh, wow, you guys joined, conspiracy here.
But could you translate the words directly, because it's al yedei ken asher et. What is it?
Where do we start? Asher itcha.
Asher itcha.
Which with you? Which are with you? Right?
Asher itcha.
Hasku yadei kol asher itcha. They will strengthen hands of everybody who is with you. They want people to join, with the full strength.
Okay.
Ki ata, because now, ata is like now, right?
Yeah, ki ata
Yadam rafa lazor lecha. Their hands are weak to help you. Rafa is weak. Rafa, like, we actually interesting, this Rafa now thing, it's all connected with this Rafa. Rafa is like weak, sort of relaxed, not strong. So right now they are not they're not like forcefully going after you.
שאומרים בליבם, they say in their hearts,
right.
הבן
יתחרט,
he will admit, he will
right.
regret, אצל אביו.
To his father.
ואנו נהיה שונאים למלך. Okay. And then mem gimel. במה שמרדו במלכות. What is that?
Bema, in what? Shemardu, married, is rebellion.
Rebel.
Right, rebel. Be malchut.
Against
the kingdom. Against the king.
And mem daled. Al שתגדיל לעשות לבוא אל פלגשי אביו
בעזות מצח. So we're translating it al, because shehigdil, increased, lasot, to do, lavo, to cohabit, el pilakshei, with the pilakshim, maybe it's not cohabit, I don't know, but at least he goes into their place. I don't know what physically happened there. I shouldn't say it, I apologize if I'm saying something wrong. But at least lavo el pilakshim, like at least to go like in their quarters and hang around there with them, like, to be familiar with the pilakshim. Right? Aviv, of his father. But azut metzach was like this, what is it called? As metzach is like very impudent, very, blatant, right up into your face, the opposite of
metzach.
Azut. Az is like forceful, strong.
Forceful.
Metzach is your forehead,
Okay, and then is that the end of the?
No.
Yeah, that's the end of the notes. Okay. Okay, the next title. Hanasim. Hanasim.
Hanasim, the princes.
Hanasim. המתינו
waited,
לראות אם קורח וחבריו
יעזו מצחם, same expression. It's an expression. יעזו, like if they also will, like, in other words, if they'll dare. That's the translation.
Yeah, dare. What is
what? Metzach, it's to dare. To have like brazen
Metzach
forehead.
is what?
Metzach is your forehead, this area here is a Metzach. So to be brazen faced, so to speak, it's an expression.
Okay. על הדרך זה יאמר, according to this thinking, let's say the following, כי כדבר הזה עשו פה 250 אנשים, that these 250 people, what they did here, והוא כי הששו,
They were afraid,
they were hesitating, פן קורח ישלים עם משה, that Korach will make up with Moshe. כי בן אחיו, כי בן אחי אביו הוא, because he's a cousin.
Yeah.
על כן אמרו
nephew, I'm sorry. He's nephew of Moshe. Ben Achi. No, you're right, cousin.
Yeah.
Ben Achi Aviv, right.
Yeah. על כן אמרו בליבם, therefore they said in their hearts, אם נראה את קורח ושלושת רעיו, if we see that Korach and his three partners,
he says friends, pals, Re'ah is like Re'acha, right?
is the neighbors. הנזכרים קמים
במצחם נחושה לפני משה.
Okay, let's understand what it means. If they
so they אמרו בליבם, right? They thought in their hearts, right? They said in their heart, this princess, right?
Yeah.
אם נראה, if we will see, right? את קורח ושלושת רעיו הנזכרים, and his three friends that we mentioned before, who are they? Datan, Aviram, who owned the pellet, right?
קמים במצחם,
they're standing with their brazen nechusha, copper foreheads.
What is it literally? What does it mean? Mitzchah is forehead.
Nechusham is, it's sort of double meaning. Nechoshet means copper, or brass, right? But also nechush means like determined, very, So it's an expression. Brazen-headed, he's like very determined. He is, committed. Lifnei Moshe, in front of Moshe.
לפני משה, ולא יבושו מפניו,
and they will not feel busha in front of Moshe. They're not going to be embarrassed to stand up in front of Moshe and perform this whole thing.
אז נדע כי לא ישלים עמו. Then we'll know that there's not going to be peace between them.
There's not going to be reconciliation, right?
ולא נבוש אם נתחבר עליו. And we won't get embarrassed if we connect with him.
Right.
על כן אמרו מנגד עד מנגד?
Amdu mineged. Therefore they stood on the side. Mineged on the side. Amdu mineged.
Mineged is against, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's also on the side, Yeah, they're there, but they are not like really joining it. They're standing apart. Vayakumu.
Until the word vayakumu.
Right. Hu vayakumu. Korach v'anashav and Nizkarim. Until they stood first. Korach and his chevre, so they were waiting on the side.
לפני משה, והוא העיקר, and this is the important thing, בעזות פנים ובעזות מצח. In
this brazenness of the face and the brazenness of the forehead.
What's the difference between Izut Panim and Izut Metzah?
Right, one is sort of like brazen-faced, right? For example, you're not going to show like a brazen-faced to your father or to your mother, right? Or to your teacher. So you have to have like your facial features under control, so to speak, kind of, right? You're not going to like show your face to the guy, But right, that's Azut Panim. Azut Metzach, it's like it's more kind. I think it's more deeper kind of. You are really committing yourself to this idea now, not just you showing face, but you also inside you're holding to your idea.
והיה במאמר אנשים
B'ma'amad, and it will be b'ma'amad in front. It was in front. Anshim b'bnei Israel. In other words, it was a public event. B'ma'amad in the event, in the presence.
in the presence of,
Anshim b'bnei Israel. That's why the
לפני
Torah says
משה.
it was not like in a private room somewhere. It was in public.
וגם
Shedam.
שגם המה היו שם.
שם.
They were all there.
Right.
לראות אם יעזו
יעזו
פניהם
פניהם
נגד
נגד
משה.
משה.
To see if they
Everybody
were,
came to see, are they going to be so, brazen and so chutzpahdik to behave that way in front of Moshe?
yeah. Okay,
Is
so
it
let's
possible?
go through the notes.
So it was like,
Memhe.
a CNN kind of,
Yeah.
Because they knew
public debate,
they knew he'd been talking to people.
Yeah, of course, it says that
It's all known.
they were
But
all night,
now-
Korach was conspiring and everything, and everybody was kind of watching and, whatever, deciding. It was very hard. One of the Satmar Rebbe says that in the Gilgul, he remembers he was there, and he
Yeah.
couldn't decide which side to be on.
Wow.
That's how hard it was.
memhe. לעולם כי נבאש בעיניו. כי נבאש בעיניו.
Yeah, where is it?
memhe.
In a note,
Yeah.
Leolam, forever. Ki nif'ash be'einav.
Because he was embarrassed in their face.
Something like that. Where is it in our...
כי לא השלים עמו. They will make up
He didn't agree with here. Where is it
in the middle of the text.
In the middle of the text. Right. It says that if they gonna be so brazen in front of Moshe, then we know that he will not be reconciling with them
Forever.
forever.
Forever. Be alone.
מ"ז, מ"ו rather, ולכן הזכור כן
He mentioned
כאן רק את משה,
Moshe.
כי עליו עיקר התלונה והעזות מצח. That's why they stood up to Moshe because he's the Ikar, he's the main.
Because Allah, it's against him, Ikar, the main hatluna complaint,
Yeah.
the azut metzach, and this chutzpah, this brazen faceness. In other words, the thrust of the rebellion was on Moshe, even though they also complained about Aaron, but the main thing was Moshe.
שלא
פסוק בפסוק
הבא שהזכיר גם את אהרון וראה
וראה בציונים במבוא מספר, and it's look in the notes, in the introduction to this sefer tzei dalederech. There is a sefer tzei dalederech. Look in this other sefer.
What's ציונים?
ציונים is notes.
אוקיי. מ"ז, ובזה תרצה קושיה ד' שלכך לא אמר הכתוב ויקח קורח וכו' ואז
וכו', ועוון
ועוון וכולון
וחמישים
וחמישים
ויקומו וכו'
וכולו כי הנשיאים לא הלכו בתחילה עם קורח.
עם קורח וחבריו.
At the beginning they didn't go with them.
Right.
וכן תורציה קושיה ה', the fifth question, שבקימה זה הייתה עצם
Azut Netzach.
Azut
He
Mitzvah.
likes that Azut Netzach thing.
This is the where the
Shebekimadu, in this standing in front of Moshe, that already was this Azut Netzach. It was this chutzpah, this brazenness, la'amod neged Moshe, to stand against Moshe. Like, who would dare, you know?
וכן תוציא קושיה, oh, they're answering all the questions here, זין, של לכך מזכיר לפני משה, קודם להזכירת
before mentioning
אנשים,
ואנשים מבני ישראל.
כי הם המתינו מן הצד,
they waited from the side,
לראות
כיצד
יקומו
יקומו קורח וחבריו נגד משה, to wait to see how they're going to stand in front of Moshe.
וראה
וראה בדברי חזקוני, look in the חזקוני, famous Rishon, look in his words, what he says.
Okay.
A lot of...
all right. So now how we're doing for time?
How are you with time?
I'm fine. I'm always fine. Okay, so let's... So
How's
Gimel.
Moshe with time?
So let's go to the next thing. פסוק ג' ויקהלו את משה, על משה ועל אהרון, ויאמרו עליהם רב לכם, כי כל העדה כולם קדושים, ובתוכם השם, ובדוע תתנסו על קהל השם. Not titnasu. What's titnasu?
Titnasu, right? Nasi, like why are you raising yourself? Why are you elevating yourself to be, leaders?
Above the kahla of Hashem. Okay. ואז בראותם 250 אנשים. Then, when the 250 people saw them, in this way, אז ויקהלו גם הם אל משה ואל אהרון. They congregated.
Why they? I guess they see if Korach dares to do so, must be the right thing to do. That's what they couldn't.
Well, I think it's answering. We went through it. It's Avimelech and Avshalom in that they now realize that there's no coming back, there's no fixing, and therefore it's safe to back.
Yeah, but it's still like was safe meaning what? That Korach gonna defeat Moshe?
Korach won't be forgiven.
Korach won't be forgiven.
No. Right now they were hesitating to join as long as they have the chance that Korach would be forgiven by Moshe. But when they didn't believe really that they will have the chutzpah to really go there. But once Korach went, they also joined.
Yeah, because they could see that they're not going to make up.
Right, but in other words, they are really joining against Moshe. They're really now committing to go against Moshe.
Yeah.
Which means that they must, at this point, believe Korach. Not only that he's not going to be forgiven, but that he's going to win.
That he's going to win.
We don't really see that.
It's not necessary that...
if they go in, What?
Not necessarily that they will win. They have a... hi, Buzz. They have an issue that they're trying to express. Do they express it or do they shut up? I'm not going to express it if there's no uproar. But if I can see that there's no way that Korach can make up with Moshe after this embarrassment. So there's no, I'm not going to be left in an embarrassing place of rebelling, and then they make up, and then Moshe feels that I've rebelled. So I can't express my concern. But now that I see that there's no going back from Korach, this is my time to also say, I'm also not happy. I'm also not happy because I'm the Bechor and I should have had the Bechor.
So in other words, you're saying that they're not really like, they think that maybe somehow, like, what do you think is going to be the result of this thing? The Moshe is going to like say, all right guys, I hear you, you're right, you know what, I'm going to now give Korach Kohen Gadol. And you guys going to get your,
so there's two benefits.
Yeah.
The main benefit is that he can finally
They're just expressing it.
That is a benefit.
But they're rebelling against Moshe.
And secondly, there might be some compromise. There might be a compromise
so
where they will get something.
They'll get something at least, some kind of compromise.
Some compromise to appease them.
He'll become a minister or something in the cabinet.
So,
yeah, exactly.
Right.
He'll get
Except
transportation.
Korach is like really challenging Moshe as far as almost.
In other words, they're saying maybe there's some benefits
Korach
for
wants
us.
to get from it.
What Korach wants to get is we said he wants to get he wants to challenge Moshe so that he can become the high priest now.
In other words, Korach wants Aaron, you go out, I go in. I'm
right.
now going to go.
That's right. And from the 250, they want to back him because there might be a chance that their loss of the Bechor might be reversed to some extent.
So in other words, they are really telling Moshe that that's what Korach is saying, that you are running it all on your own, so to speak. Yeah. Right. So they at least they're joining into this idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, they had this idea all along, but they wouldn't have had the
Exactly, they wouldn't have had the chutzpah
the
to.
Metzach copper. They wouldn't have had it to actually do it. But now that they see that Korach is going all the way, this is.
Yeah, but now really, to me it looks like there is they're beyond point of return. So
At
that's
this
a
point,
pretty tough choice to make.
At this point, they are beyond return. Yeah.
Right. So, or it's basically or us or you, Moshe. Basically, there's no right or wrong. That's how it looks to me.
Yeah. Let's have a look at.
So I don't know what kind of compromise that could be worked out there. It's a debate, right? You have to have Trump or Biden, right? There is nothing middle ground. You can't have two presidents or or half and half, right? Or Korach or Moshe.
Let's have a look at the notes. Mem Hey. שkorach וחברו העיזו
Which note?
בני משה.
Which one?
מם ה'. מם ח'. מם ח'.
Okay.
מם ח'.
Mem chet. Okay. Shekorach, yeah, go ahead.
They're saying that שkorach וחבריו
and his friends. He
they would be
raising hell
brazen enough to
against Moshe.
מ"ט ובזה לכאורה
like possibly, right?
that's possibly
Lechora is like supposedly.
לכאורה כוונתו
the intention
לתרץ
to
answer the sixth question שבפסוק זה הזכיר משה ואהרון that here they're rebelling against Moshe and Aaron ובפסוק קודמת רק על משה and the previous פסוק is just on Moshe כי בפסוק הקודמת היה המבחן לראות אם יעיזו פניהם במשה. They will go against Moshe, שהוא העיקר, because that's the
main thing.
That's the main thing. כי הוא רבם של כל ישראל.
He was a
He's the equivalent
of all Israel.
Rabbam. Teacher, yeah. ובפסוק זה דיבר על עיקר
תלונותם.
their main concern.
Their main complaint.
שהיה על כהונה ועל השררה, against the priesthood and the sarara is
leadership,
leadership.
Well, one is basically we have in Judaism there are sort of two
the Nasi and the priest and the...
Right, what is it called? The power, right? Like in America, division of power, right? You have the Melech, it's a Malchut, and you have the Kohanim, which is Beit Hamidrash. So it's two sources of power, control centers.
ולכן הזכר גם משה המלך וגם אהרון. That's why both Moshe the king and Aaron the priest, a Kohen,
the church and the state, right? Like we have, right? So in the West we separate the church, but by us they're united. Really, it's supposed to work together.
But you also have the ministers here, the princes,
who are part of the government. Yeah.
Almost a third part, right?
Well, they're under the king. He is, so to speak.
Okay. Next title. שני דברים שהחששו להם
that they were afraid of.
קורח ועדתו. The two things that they were afraid of, these Korach and his following. והנה המה ראו שני דברים. They saw two things. א', פן יאמר להם, מה לכם תדכאו עצמכם. In case he says to them, what's up with you? תדכאו עצמכם.
Whom are we talking about?
What's תדכאו?
תדכאו, like, keep quiet.
Moshe is talking about Moshe is going to, in case Moshe says to them, be quiet.
But who's them? All of them?
Well,
the 250 people?
שני דברים שחששו להם קורח ועדותיו. For Korach and his following.
And his following.
What are they worried
about?
Yeah. What are and his following? In other words, the 250 and
also included with everybody.
A
Okay.
was that the Moshe would say to them, "Be quiet. What's wrong with you?"
Just shut up. Right. Shut them off.
והתעברו al riv lo lachem. What's that?
That why you joining in a fight which is not for you, which we have to see a note really because.
No, it's not Korach and everyone.
Right, there's somebody.
כי האם קורח ייתן לכם שדות וכרמים? What's שדות וכרמים?
Like in other words, the Moshe is going to tell them, what are you joining this? What is going to give you? Right? He's going to give you fields and vineyards, שדות וכרמים, right? What are you going to gain in this thing? Ha'im Korach, will Korach iten lachem, give you sadot, the orchards and kramim and the vineyards, fields and vineyards, behiyot hu Kohen Gadol. If he becomes Kohen Gadol, what are you going to gain? He's going to give you properties, real estate,
So let's read the notes for that. So that's Nun is אף על פי הכתוב, כלומר, מה לכם לצר אתכם,
כלומר, מה לכם לצער עצמכם? Why are you bothering yourself? Why are you paining yourself, right? In this thing, what's your gain? Unfortunately, today, we know in politics, right, it's all basically about money. So.
Yeah.
Right, because maybe he's challenging them here now, saying, you're all not going to become the Kohen Gadol,
That's right.
even if...
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Nun Aleph, what's that again? Al pi, הכתוב, מחזיק,
Machzik, it's a Mishli, he's quoting Pasuk from Mishli. Machzik be'aznei kelev, it's a Mishli, it's a Proverbs, right? The one who grabs the ears of dog, over mitaber ariv lolo, right? The one who grabs the dog by the ears, he's transgressing the prohibition that he gets involved in a fight which is not his. So you have two dogs fighting, and the guy grabs the ears of the dog. So what are you getting involved? You're getting involved in not your fight, you know? In a fight which is not yours.
Uv Mitzoda David. What's Umitzodat David?
Hold on. Yeah, and so U b'mitzodat David. It's a commentary, a famous commentary.
כמו שאוכ...
Ha'ochez be'aznei kelev, the one who holds the ears of the dog, hene hu gorem le'atzmo neshikat ha'kelev. He is causing himself to be bitten by that dog. That's Mitzuda David explains this. Because dog is going to bite him now. Before the dogs were fighting between themselves, he grabs the dog by the ear, he gets bitten by the dog.
כן המתמלא עבירה הזעם
וזעם להתעבר ולכעוס על ריב שאין נוגע אליו.
What does that mean?
Right, so
Al-ken?
so it says the mitzvah, right? Ken hamitmale evra v'zam. Somebody who gets all angry, going excited, right? You're watching a football game, where you're getting excited, where you're getting all angry, you know, stupid, you missed the ball, you know.
What does it mean literally? Avra.
Hamitmale evra, like anger and excitement.
Evra is anger?
Evra, yeah.
And vezom?
Zam is like also like a sort of, you know, what's the word? Also like anger, you know.
Anger.
Fuming with anger.
Yeah.
Lihitaber velikos, to like get worked up and to likos, to have anger. Al riv she'im nogebo, in a fight, argument, she'ein nogelo, which is not connected to him.
Ki kasher
Yuzak. Yeah, when Yuzak, he will get damaged b'davar hazeh, through that thing. Hu garam le'atzmo.
He caused it for
He
himself.
caused it to himself. All right, you have two guys fighting, and he kind of goes there, and he gets involved in it, and they punch him, and both of them will. It says when the husband and wife fight, don't get involved. They both will join against you.
Nun bet. ומה הלוק? מה חילוק?
What's the difference, right? What's the...
עם
Where we Shlomo? Next note?
נון וו. נון בית.
None better, okay.
ומה הלוק יש לכם עם אהרון? What have you got against Aaron?
What difference does it make to you, right? Ma chiluk, like a difference. Yesh lachem, what is it for you, right? Im Aharon hu ha-kohen ha-gadol or Korach. Why you care who's going to be Kohen Gadol? Obviously, each one thought that he also going to be Kohen Gadol.
This is
Yeah,
what
it's not
the
gonna-
wife of On said, also to him.
Yeah.
You're not going to...
What are you gaining out of it between this fight with the Moshe Aaron? Korach wants to be Kohen Gadol.
Right.
I think
Okay.
maybe should we
And
stop here? or
We'll
should
do one more note because
One more
then
note.
we
Okay,
close.
very good.
Nun Gimel.
No, you know.
כמובא,
בגמרא, כן, מובא בגמרא,
as we discuss in
is
מובא.
brought in the Gemara, Sanhedrin Kuf Yud,
אמר רבי
Abahu.
אבהו, כל המהרהר אחר רבו, everyone
who is, so to speak, suspicious
about אחר רבו,
after about his teacher, right? His Rab,
about his teacher,
right?
כאילו as if
מהרהר,
מרהר
like he's,
אחר שכינה,
אחר שכינה,
against the שכינה,
right?
שנאמר וידבר העם באהלים,
באלוהים
באלוהים
ובמשה.
ובמשה.
The people talked about Hashem and Moshe.
Very good.
Hashem first, yeah.
Okay, that's
All
good.
right, Hashem.
We're making good progress.
Good, Hashem.
Are we?
What's a warning here that they should remember, it's not, if you go against your teacher, you're also going against Hashem. If
Yeah.
you're going against Moshe, you're also going against Hashem. So think about that. If you are suspicious about your teacher in this generation, it's also still you're treading on dangerous ground.
Exactly, that's why it's so, this story is so, this,